I don't care what anybody else tells you, The Rock from 1996 is the last great action movie. Pure action, not action sci-fi, not action if you involve a comic book character. This is an action movie. So, 1996, directed by Michael Bay. Watched this recently on Netflix. Holds up really damn well as it's shot on film and it's not overly manipulated by color correction digitally that you see today. So, you got this guy, Stanley Goodspeed, Nicolas Cage. He is with the FBI, but he's not a field agent. He is, I think he said FBI, right? He works with the chemicals. And there is this General Hummel, played by, oh Christ, forgot his name. Perennial bald guy, Ed Harris, that's it, yay, I remember. So he has this plan. He's hijacked some chemicals. He's taken over Alcatraz with a Marine unit. They want families of fallen soldiers and black ops to be recognized for what their families did. Their loved ones. They want some recognition for that. They also want some money. So he's got some mercenaries aboard also. One of them played by Candyman Tony Todd. Now, David Morse is his right-hand man. And so he's got these 81 hostages on the island Alcatraz. And everybody's flipping out. Hey, what are we going to do? They're like, okay, we can send a team in, try to neutralize the situation. Best SEAL team in the country, led by Michael Biehn. Okay, that sounds cool. But they're going to need some help. And there is a guy who knows The Rock better than anybody. It's Sean Connery. And, goddamn, I forgot his character's name, so we're just going with Sean Connery. Anyway, Sean Connery's like, okay, clean me up, I want a suit, this and whatever. He gives him a bit of a hard time. He was former SAS. He has a lot of dirt on people. He's been locked up in various places. No longer locked up at The Rock, but he makes a getaway at a hotel. They're kind of whining and dining him, even though they're prepping for this mission. And they come to find out that they're going to need him physically there. And he's eluding everybody. There's this Hummer chase. It's pretty badass. Nicolas Cage gets in a Ferrari. Everything is looking really damn good. Every shot in this movie is well planned. Every edit's crisp. I know Michael Bay said that this was where he really got to use everything he wanted. Like, he had a car chase in Bad Boys he thought was cheesy. I thought it looks fine. You can see, they're just manipulating the camera, a whole lot of zooming in on stationary shit. You get a little bit of that here too, but it's not overtly noticeable. It's better than having a bunch of CGI. So you have no CGI in your action movie. It looks very good. I don't think there's any, there might be some composite work late in the film, maybe even a rocket. I'm not totally sure about that. I had to take a closer look, honestly. But anyways, he meets up with his daughter, says, hey, I might not see you again, sorry about whatever. And Nicolas Cage comes in, he's like, hey, your dad's helping us with some stuff, that's why all these police are here. Well, let's get going, John. I think his name was John. So, they go through that, meet up with the SEAL team. They go a little scuba dive. You see a little bit of the plot from Metal Gear Solid come into this. And you're like, oh, hey, man, they took some inspiration from The Rock. Anyways, they get in, there's some fire trap, elaborate, I don't know what, boiler room stuff. So, Sean Connery has to go dive through this thing in the sequence and roll around. He gets everybody in. Keep mind of how often Michael Biehn says stand fast in this movie. And when he says stand fast, take a shot, it is nuts. There must be a period there where he says it like 12 times in less than a minute. Anyways, they get into this shower, and they're trapped. And Ed Harris's guys have guns on them, and there's a bit of an incident. They shoot all the SEAL guys. None of Ed Harris's guys die, but Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery weren't in the room, and so it's up to them to free the hostages and disarm the gas, the missiles. Well, they get some of this done, and then there's a guy who's going to be executed. So Sean Connery offers himself up, and then Nicolas Cage gets caught, and they're locked in a room, but Sean Connery knows how to get out. He gets him out of there. One of the rockets gets fired, but Ed Harris scuttled it in the water. It was just kind of like his plan the whole time. And so he's like, hey, he didn't really let this information out just yet, but later on he's like, okay, so the deadline's passed. We got guys to trigger fingers, but the mission's over. We have to evacuate. Hey, I want my money. People are drawing guns on him. He's like, hey, this whole mission was based on threat of force. I didn't intend to hurt anybody. It's over. Tony Todd, him getting into a firefight. David Morse dies. There's blood everywhere. Ed Harris gets killed. And he's telling them where like the last missile is and all this stuff. And this missile gets fired off into Tony Todd because Nicolas Cage is like, hey, you're like Elton John, you're like Rocket Man. Well, you're him. You're the Rocket Man. Fires a rocket at him, he gets killed. At this point, we've lost both rockets. But this other guy, I think it was Major Fry. F-R-Y-E, okay? And he's like, hey, give me the last chip. I'm thinking this guy needs to be leaving the island. They've got inbound fighters with thermite warheads. They're gonna like carpet bomb the place. And he's looking for a chip for this gas stuff. Like, okay, black market maybe. Is he seeking asylum somewhere? Does he want to go live in North Korea? Hey, I'll give you some of this tech. I mean, it's a long shot. Priorities, dude. I think that's what the one plot hole is. It's like, the two missiles are gone. What's this guy still doing? Anyway, Sean Connery's roughing up people. Take note that Sean Connery runs at about the speed I'm going right now. So that's his sprint in this movie. But Nicolas Cage fights too. Kills the Major Fry dude. Then he has to inject himself in the heart with this giant pin to avoid the reaction from the gas canister thing. I don't think it'd actually work that way. This thing doesn't seem to be nerve gas based on you breathed it in, now you're in trouble. It's like destroying skin cells. What about that? But he's perfectly fine and he has time to go light the green flare. You see this kind of thing getting ripped off in, I think it was Olympus Has Fallen. And so he's doing this bit and it's like too late. One of the guys got trigger happy, shot one of the thermite rockets on the backside of the island, sends Nicolas Cage into the water, face down, Jason Bourne style. He survives, I'm not really sure how. Oh, and Sean Connery noticed where he was and dove in and rescued him. Well, ain't that a little convenient? So he's like, hey, you need to get going. I came back here too, because you got a beige Volvo and I want to see your kid grow up because you got this hot Vanessa Marcel pregnant. She's over in San Francisco, wherever the hell. But yeah, Nicolas Cage lets him get away, tells everybody else in charge he's vaporized. And you're like, okay, I'll go with that. One guy doesn't seem to be buying it, but he tells the older dude, Womack, he's like, yep, vaporized, yep, it's a thing. So, good for him. It's nice to have a little character get a little bit of a redemption thing where it's like you're not really sure if he's a dick or what. But it's like, okay, cool, alright. So, this stuff goes down, and everybody's cool. And then at the end you have Nicolas Cage in his beige Volvo in Kansas looking for this film that Sean Connery hid. And he's like, hey honey, you want to know who really killed JFK? Do. I do want to bring up that this beige Volvo, this is the start of the unofficial beige Volvo trilogy for Nicolas Cage. This includes The Rock, there's a beige Volvo in Face Off, and Dave Chappelle is dropped onto a beige Volvo in Con Air. Get that on a box set on Blu-ray. Yeah, I enjoy The Rock a great deal. It's just check it out if you're at all into movies and you have a backbone. I give 3.5 out of 4 stars.